Stop wasting your one-to-ones. If you're sitting down with your key people each week, only to find that 40 minutes later they walk out of the room and the only thing you've spoken about is that week's issues, no conversation about feedback, no conversation about development, no conversation about how that person is really doing, then you are not having a one-to-one. You're having an operational meeting with a cup of coffee and you're robbing that person of the biggest opportunity that you have to help them develop and step up. Most business owners believe that they're having the right conversations in their one-to-ones with their key team members.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
But I am telling you that if you are talking about customers, you're talking about suppliers, if you're talking about day-to-day issues, you aren't having the conversation that you should be having. And the real issue with that is that those are conversations that you could have or should have in a team meeting or just standing next to that person's desk. Your one-to-ones are sacred. It's the opportunity that you have to block out all of the noise, all of the firefighting, all of the day-to-day issues, and really take the time to have a conversation about the person in front of you, for you to understand how they are really doing, an opportunity for you to get proper feedback from them on how you can support them better, an opportunity for you to give them proper feedback, and an opportunity for you to talk about them and their development goals. The issue that you will always have is that the day-to-day issues will always suck up the time and the space. And if you allow them to creep into your one-to-ones, game over. You're not having the right conversations that you need to have. I had a client that was in a very similar position to what I just explained. He wasn't really having one-to-ones with his team members. He was talking about jobs and work in the one-to-ones. And he didn't really realize it until I started working with him. Then we put a proper one-to-one structure in place, proper preparation, and off he went. And I remember checking in with him shortly after we had put this in place, and I asked him how the one-to-ones were going, and he said, well, actually, I'm not very happy. I just had an awful one-to-one with somebody. They told me that they didn't feel valued, that they didn't feel that I recognized their achievements in the business, and they were really demotivated. And my client was really bummed out about this. And I said to him, look, I don't know why you're so upset. You should be celebrating this. You should be really grateful that you had a proper one-to-one, because if you didn't, the consequence would have been that that person would never have shared how they truly felt. You would never have known how they feel, and you wouldn't have been able to do something about it. As it turns out, that one-to-one gave my client the space to put things right, to have a proper conversation, and that person walked out feeling okay. That is the purpose of a one-to-one. It's not about the day-to-day stuff. It's not about the noise. It is about really taking the time to have those conversations that would never ordinarily happen. So if you know this is happening in your business, what are you going to do about it? The first thing I'd like you to do is you just need to have a reset.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Get all of your key people together and explain that moving forward, the business is no longer going to have operational conversations in one-to-ones. What you need to do is help everybody understand what the true purpose of a one-to-one is. It's about making sure that there is time to have proper conversations about the person and their role. It's a time to have development conversations about how that person is doing in terms of their goals. And it's an opportunity to get feedback and to deliver feedback. The one-to-ones should be person-centered, not about the work, not about the issues, not about the firefighting. The next thing that you need to do is you need to put preparation in place. If people are just coming into a one-to-one cold, they're going to talk about what's top of mind, which is likely to be the day-to-day issues. Put something in place where they take the time to think through how things are going, where they reflect on the things that are going well, where they reflect on some of the key challenges and the root causes of those challenges, where they reflect on how they perform in terms of their goals and objectives that you may have set for them, and where they are thoughtful about what feedback they need to deliver for you so that you can support them better, and any other key topics that they want to raise in their one-to-one. That gives them the opportunity to come into the room with a well thought out agenda. It gives you the opportunity to really understand what's going on in their head and to pick up any of those key points that would have come through in that preparation. And then you have the conversation that you need to have, and it helps that person step up. Really simple. Reset what the one-to-ones are about and put proper preparation in place. And then the key thing is, do not skip the one-to-ones. Get them diarized, get them fixed in, and make sure that you plan around it. There's nothing worse than a line manager bumping a one-to-one because a customer called or something urgent has happened. It is sacred time. It is important time. And if you're trying to grow your business, if you're trying to develop your people, you cannot afford to bump those meetings or to not run them the way that they need to happen. So, what are you going to do about it? Who on your team needs a proper one-to-one? Who on your team needs to be realigned with what the purpose of the one-to-ones are? And who in your management team needs to make sure that they are having effective one-to-ones with the people that report to them so that the organization can work well and that all the day-to-day issues are kept in huddles and meetings instead of being crept in to proper one-to-ones. See you next time on Mind Your Own Business.